Hello everyone, welcome to another Redesigning School Counseling Tips video. The focus of this video is on steering team recruitment. My name is Sue Reynolds and I'm president of the American Student Achievement Institute. So in this video we'll be looking at the RSC steering team. We'll consider the steering team's makeup and purpose, we'll look at task delegation, and then we'll look at introducing your steering team to the RSC system. So first let's begin by looking at makeup. So the minimum size of your steering team is 5 members. That's going to help you delegate tasks. But if you need to make your steering team larger than 5 minutes for any reason, that is okay. I wouldn't want to get your steering team so big though that it's difficult to have discussions and to come to consensus. We need at least one licensed school counselor to be on the steering team, but the other members could be teachers, parents, community members, your school counseling secretary, your school's registrar. It could be lots of different folks. A lot of schools tell us that they like to invite a teacher that is thinking about maybe becoming a school counselor or is in the process of taking school counseling courses. That would be a really great person to have on your steering team. And then finally, as you're thinking about people to serve on your steering team, you want to make sure that you have folks that are organized and are worker bees. That's really important because we are going to delegate tasks and we want to make sure that the people to whom the tasks have been delegated are following through with those tasks. Okay, so here's how we delegate tasks. So 5 people on your steering team should be delegated one of these tasks. So one person is going to be solely responsible for data collection. Now notice that I use the word responsible. That doesn't mean that that person has to do all the work themselves, but they're the ones that is responsible for making sure that the work does get done. So data collection in RSC consists of a student survey. We want to survey 90% of the students in the school. 95 or better percent of the students in the school. There's a counselor survey, and then there's some self-studies, and there's counselor time use logs. As you know, RSC is very data rich. It's probably one of the things that attracted you to RSC to begin with. So we do need, though, to make sure that we have that data so we can use it as we go forward in the process. So again, you can delegate this work. You might put together a collection of your friends and maybe ask one friend if they would take responsibility for surveying the 9th graders and another friend to survey the 10th graders. That survey task is not as bad as it may sound in the beginning because we're also going to involve all the teachers in giving the survey to their own students. So in a high school you might say to all of your second period teachers, sometime in the next 3 weeks will you survey students during your second period class. So we are going to further delegate that work, and we'll talk about how to do that in the survey video. Okay, and then the self-studies, there's some self-studies to do to assess your program's current strengths and challenges. And then also we'll ask each counselor to begin keeping a counselor time use log. So as the data collection point person, your job is to organize and coordinate all that. You would watch that person will watch a video about how to collect all this data that is available in the RSC online system, and then they would do that data collection. In the next person, so another delegation is to have a person that is the council recruitment and communications point person. We'll give that person a lot of resources, talking points, different materials that they can pass out about RSC, a sample follow-up letter to do after people agree to be on your council. So that person is going to be responsible for recruiting 20 to 30 community members as well as school people to serve on your council. It's a very broad spectrum of perspectives. Again, they will not do all that work by themselves. They'll get together the rest of the steering team members or their friends, and they'll say, okay, who can recruit someone from a faith-based organization? Who can recruit someone from a large business or industry? Who can recruit someone from a youth serving organization? So they'll be coordinating the recruitment, not necessarily doing it all the work themselves. Then the council meeting point person, there are a series of council meetings. The number depends on how quickly we're trying to do the RSC process. It could be 3 to 5 or 6. And that person will be responsible for facilitating the meeting. The presentation itself, the discussion prompt, will be in the form of a video that we provide. So they would just make sure that once people would be invited to the meeting, that you would show the video and then have any discussion about that's introduced as a discussion prompt during the video. They would also keep minutes for the meetings and make sure that those minutes meet our standards. Okay, and then the fourth point person on the steering team is the person who's going to coordinate your program and activity exploration. So this will come a little later in the process after you have identified the things that are getting in the way of students achieving your program goals. When we call those root causes, this person will be coordinating all the exploration. So depending on how much funding you have, that exploration could include doing site visits to schools in other states. It could be making phone calls to schools in other states or in your state to ask about certain programs. So we'll be looking for schools that have the same root causes as your school, the same challenges as your school, that have successfully addressed those challenges. And then you'll contact those schools and find out what they did. That person will also be responsible for doing some research search to see what research has been done about your root causes. And then we have a huge database of activities, school counseling activities, that person will coordinate the searching of that database as well. So again, that's going to come a little later in the process once you know what your program goals are and your root causes, and then we'll start searching for solutions to those root causes. And then the fifth person is an online system entry person. So what they'll be doing is after each of the council discussions, there will be a product. It might be goals, or it might be your root causes, or it might be your activities, or it might be your minutes. And that person will make sure that all of the things that are required to put into the RSC online system to document your progress are put into the system. So it's some data entry, but it's also thinking about how do I take all of this input about our goals or our root causes and condense it into root causes that will into a format that will go into the online system. So, and again, for all of these point persons, we'll be providing you with tips, with videos. This really delegates the work. For example, our data collection video, not your whole steering team doesn't have to watch that video. It would just be the data collection point person, and then that point person would coordinate everybody and get the ball rolling. The council recruitment video, not everybody has to watch that video, just the council recruitment point person, and then they'd bring together the steering team and get everything going. So again, each person on your steering team is going to have a set of unique responsibilities and a set of unique support resources from our staff. All 5 people have access to our on-call support as well as the online system. So, okay. So last thing then is what are your first steps? Once you have your steering team, your 5 or more steering team people recruited, then what's your next step? First of all, you want to give the username and passphrase to all of your steering team members, and then ask them to log in, and they should do 3 things. Register for all the monthly webinars. So at the beginning of each month there's a webinar. We just want to make sure that they have clicked the tool to register for that webinar and that they've registered. So all steering team members attend every one of the webinars that we provide each month. And during each of those webinars, we'll delegate tasks, but we want everybody to know what everybody else is doing. So those webinars are really important. And then we want your steering team members to read the RSC approach document. That's step 3 here. And then also to watch the RSC steering team video. So that's step 4. One more task for you is, once you know what the delegation of tasks are, just a reminder that you need to go back into Enter Steering Team Members, click Enter, and then there's a step there that asks you to identify which one of your steering team members has which set of responsibilities. One other question that may come up, let me go back a slide, as you're assigning these tasks, sometimes we get the question, can 2 people share one task and 2 people share the responsibility of data collection? Absolutely. However, we want one person to be identified as the point person. That's the point person that, if things don't get done, we'll be coming back to that person to ask questions. It's the bottom line is with them, whoever that one person is. So yes, they can work as a team, but one person needs to have the responsibility for making sure that everything gets done. Okay, I think that's it. So again, if you have questions, please make sure that you're contacting us. We want to be there for you and for all of your steering team members. So contact your support specialist, your strategic planning specialist on our staff, or give us a call and we can connect you with that person. You can also send us an email and we'll forward that email to the person that's assigned to your school. So, okay, thanks so much, and that's it for this video.